Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what sold for last week, Monday through Thursday, March 11th through the 14th, Monday through Thursday. Like I said, Monday was awful. It was the probably second worst day of the year. Not sure what happened. I think it was one of those mornings, and I may just be thinking this up, but I forgot to send out offers. I almost always send out offers first thing in the morning, whether it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whenever. And I really think that just kind of gets eBay happy that I'm being active and I'm sending out offers and then I'm listing about that same time. Well, I think I forgot. And my sales never really started. It just seems a lot of times when I send out offers, I start getting sales. Not always from them, but it's like, the eBay algorithm smiles on me and says, okay, let's have a few sales. You're working hard this morning. Let's reward you. But it was awful. But then Wednesday was probably the second best day in the last month. The 30 days or whatever that shows up on our little screen. So second best day. So my sales are back up, which I'm happy. I'll say it's above my normal that I like to make, but I'm thinking at this point I need to raise my bar a little bit because it's pretty much staying above where I used to think that's, my daily goals. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm working like crazy, y'all. I think I looked the other day. Let me look. I sent a message. Let me go see what I said. So far this year, since January 1st, have processed 2,300 new listings in just toys and shoes and that kind of stuff. Clothing is totally separate. I don't know how many I've listed. I messed up our number system, so now it's going to be me having to figure it out because, I have spreadsheets. And normally the spreadsheets are like this, but for some reason one day I really messed up the numbers and then just kept on going. I didn't catch what I had done. But, we're going through a whole lot of clothes also. So, but 2,300 new listings. I think last year, I want to say I listed about 6,000 listings for the whole year, and I'm already at 2,300. So going through my profit piles has really increased my numbers, and which means, you list more, I'm selling more, and of course my daily goals are getting inched up, which is a good thing. As far as these 4 days, y'all, I'm not cross-listing. I need to. I'm going to get back into it. I say this every week, but I'm going to get back into it. So because I'm not cross-listing, I'm really not making a whole lot of sales. I don't think I have any Mercari to share with you, and I'm maybe to Poshmark. And of course I turned Etsy off. So I'm just focusing on right now eBay and the profit piles. We went out today to a kids consignment sale. Lesson learned, I'm going to have to start going the first day. I'm just going to have to because it was slim pickings again. Very little left. So I bought a few things. I think I might have spent $16. And then we went to an estate sale, picked up some more stuff. A lot of vintagey things there, which we'll show you guys in a haul. And hopefully at some point we'll get to the picking part of that in the other channel. And then we went to a yard sale, which ended up, I say this every year, there are certain homes, I know you guys can relate, that they have I call them chronic yard sales, and we fell for it again with this house. It's somebody just selling pallet stuff, and that's annoying. That's not what I want to go shopping for. So I need to make a list that says, when you see a yard sale on that street, don't go. There's a couple that we automatically know not to go to, but this one has got us 2 years in a row. So I need to start remembering, but I call them chronic yard sales, and they're not worth your time. All right, now let's get to this. Like I said, 2 things on Poshmark. I sold this Aurora Mallard duck plush for $19. and this Hugging Giraffes plush from Publix. I don't mention Publix, but it's kind of along with anything that I find that's Publix, Aldi, Walgreens, CVS. I tend to pick them up because, you know, they're limited. As far as a lot of times they're an annual release, and then the next year it's going to be something different. But these two little giraffes sold for $13. And then eBay. Lots to share on eBay. I'm being aggressive with my offers right now as far as older inventory. So y'all, I'm selling a lot of stuff $5, $6, $7. I just am. I want this old stuff gone. Anybody who knows how I thrift and, you know, do the bins and stuff, my cost is very, very low. $1.89 a pound. At yard sales, I tend to $1 or less. A lot of times it's less. I like to do bulk buys also. And it's just, I don't spend a whole lot on plush. That's one of the benefits of selling plush, is a lot of times we can get it very cheap. But right now I'm just trying to get it gone. I need to make space for the new stuff that I want to bring in. I plan on another trip, hopefully soon, to do a bulk buy, you know, through one of the bins, whether it's Nashville, Indianapolis, or back to Missouri. Those are kind of like the three that I like to go to. So I need to make space. And I'm almost done with my inventory, y'all. It's going to be soon. Soon. I'm so thrilled. I've been working on it too. I don't know where I find all the time to do this, but I'm getting through it. Anyway, so lots of low dollar sales, and then my bread and butter. This is Okie Dokie Giraffe. I like that brand. Sold for $9.95. It was listed in February, which means this sold after I had done an end and sell similar. And my new sale hadn't started yet, so sold for full price. Milton Bradley Hangman handheld games. I tend to pick them up at the bins. They're very light, very cheap. A lot of times I will make sure that I'm turning them on and testing them there, because, you know, a lot of times they've sat around and they've got that battery and it may have corroded. So a lot of times I'll only buy them if I can get them actually to turn on. This one did work, and it sold for $8.05. Island Republic Hawaiian shirt sold for $12.01. Walmart Pink Owl Pillow Plush from MTY International. Listed it in January, so it must have been from the bins this last trip. $11.66. Holy Bible. I had a shelf that was full of books and media and stuff that were all of my one-touches. For some reason, I had looked at them and wasn't ready to list them yet. And when I've been doing these profit piles, I'm making myself either scan everything to make sure it's worth my time, but most of it I am listing. And this sold very, very quickly. It is a Holy Bible giant print from Faith Partners, 1976, sold for $8.96. BKE Stella Women's Jeans sold for $15.94. Thomas Train, again, this is for my profit piles. Starting in January, I started going through them in depth. This weekend, I plan on getting more of the stuff out of this back corner, and a lot of the smalls, I'm dumping them into a bin, and then I'm just Google Lens, get it, you know, check out comps, see if there's anything I can find to put with it, and then get it pictured and listed. I'm just going through them constantly and spending hours getting this stuff processed. And I like selling the wooden trains by Thomas individually for the most part, unless I have like something that goes with it, or if it's heavily damaged, like a lot of paint chips and stuff. A lot of times I'll make lots out of those, but they'll all be like that, and they still sell. But this was Diesel, and he sold for $13.45. Gund 12-inch plush, again listed in January, sold relatively quickly for $13.45. Wonder Pets, this was in the profit pile. It was a little dirty, and sometimes I tend to just push those aside, and I'm trying not to do that anymore. You know, all it needed was a good spray with a little toothbrush and wipe it down, and it was good. And it sold in less than a month for $11.66. Now this was just a little 3.5-inch one. There's a large Wonder Pets boat with like the little figures that go on it. That does very, very well also. Loveys, always loveys. I pick up tons. I picked up a couple today. I usually pay, you know, $1, $2, $3 sometimes at these consignment sales. And a lot of them are bread and butter, but every once in a while you get one like this. It is by Elegant Baby, Gray Elephant Lovey, and it sold for $26.95. And then I think this is a viewer sale. You know, if I so appreciate the viewer sales. Sometimes you guys send me messages either, you know, through eBay messages. If I love thanking you guys for buying stuff from me, put a little comment to remind me in the actual checkout page, because I see them when I'm going through this to get everything ready for this video. And sometimes it'll be like, oh, I think I got a message from you, but my memories doesn't always do well for me. So, you know, send me a little message real quick in your checkout to let me know that you do watch my videos, because I like thanking all of you. So I think this was a viewer sale from Lindsay. Lindsay bought 3 Loveys. She bought a little Jellycat pink rabbit, a Carter's unicorn, I don't know this one, LJ unicorn, and then a Thai gorilla, and spent $34.62. So thank you, Lindsay. Thai gumdrops bear plush. I love these flat ones that look like this. I tend to pick up most that I see. Sometimes they have the ear tag like this one. I'll buy them either way. This one sold, it was an old listing, so it took a while. It sold for $11.66. Just listed this one this month. It is a cowboy hat for Woody from Toy Story. It's a replacement. That's how I usually list them. I tend to give the measurements, how long it is, and hopefully the person buying knows exactly which hat this goes to, because they're little up until larger hats, just depending on the size of the doll. This one sold for $8.96. This was a surprise sale. It's been listed almost a year, but it was a blue rabbit. I guess no tag, so I never could figure out who the manufacturer was. Still sold for $26.95. Gonna make a very cute decoration for an Easter basket. Kenner Care Bears. This one had some condition issues, stain on the hand. Also had some wear to the lettering on the tush heart. I always take a picture of the tush heart to let them see the condition of the lettering. This one sold for $8.51, but took less than a month. Hallmark Halloween White Bear. Yeah, I had 2 of these. This has taken a very long time to sell. I had this larger size, 13-inch, and then I had a smaller version. The smaller versions sold much quicker than these 2. I love the plush that signify Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So they are my weakness, even though the bears have got to go. I've got way too many bears. It did finally sell for $9.33. These next 2 sales are from one buyer. Homeschool curriculum, especially these readers for Abeka. I do really well with them. I put them in a grade level. Like, so for this one, you see it says 3A through K. That's 3rd grade readers that go to that particular year's curriculum. I do really well with them. This one, I ended up taking a best offer of $35. And then she also bought one of the reading comprehension books for $7. These, I'm pretty sure, were all in this large tote of homeschool curriculum that Robert picked up. I don't remember how much he paid. I want to say $40 for the whole tote, and they are almost gone, all of them. Fisher Price Loving Family twin girl doll. This was, I think, from the last Ben's run to St. Louis. She sold in less than a month for $9. Raising Cane's puppy dog plush. Again, I just listed it this month, showed it recently in a haul. It was from the bins also, and sold very quickly for $8.96. Land Before Time, love it. This is hand puppets that were released by Pizza Hut. There was a series of, I want to say 4 of them. I picked up 2 of the duckies at a garage sale I went to this summer. It was one of those well, we call it the tree streets. It was one of those like neighborhood sales. And I want to say I paid 50 cents each. And this one sold for $8.06. If you notice the number 2 up there, that means they had different condition issues. So I went ahead and listed them separately. I tend to put number 1, number 2 on there just so the title isn't identical and eBay doesn't think it's a duplicate listing. New York embossed coffee cup, had the Twin Towers on it, and it's been listed almost a year, and it sold for $19.08. Picked this up at my favorite little estate sale company. I want to say it was like a set of 6 like graduated size plates, and then there was a mug, I think, that also, I ended up separating it all out and selling it individual pieces. I've sold several of them already, and this salad plate sold for $18. I want to say I paid $5 for all of it. All right, FAO, y'all. I bought quite a bit of it when we went to the bins in October at St. Louis, and come to find out, a lot of them don't sell very well. But luckily, this set of 2, the lion and the lion cub, sold to one buyer for $35.77. Now this is one of those examples of I'm doing my inventory and this was no longer listed. So what I've been doing is I pull everything that's not listed, bring it over here. I check Mercari and Poshmark to see if it has been cross-listed to one of those platforms. And then if so, then I can cross-list it back to eBay. I don't have to open up the package. I don't have to take new pictures. So that has just been a lifesaver with doing this inventory. Not all of it is done. Can I do that? A lot of it wasn't cross-listed. But it has saved me a lot of time. Also on this, I realized that the sounds no longer worked. That's always a big fear for me, is I list something that has a battery box inside of it and you can't get to it. It's internal. And the next time you squeeze it, it's no longer working. And somehow along the way, this one no longer was working. So I had to just add that to both listings because I think I did cross-list this one back, possibly from one of the other platforms. And then it sold very quickly, well, 2 months for $7 best offer. Kelly Toy Pink Pig Plush 9-inch. Again, this was listed in February and sold for $17.95. It was a bins pickup also. It had the older Kelly Toy tag. Let me show you this one. I always think that that looks older than some of the other ones, and I tend to pick up the plush that has that type tag. Easy Spirit sandals. They had been listed a while. I got a $10 offer. Make it gone. Make it gone. Dandy, again, another old listing. Not quite sure why this took so long to list. It was a 32-inch sheep plush, and it sold for $18.68. Animal Adventure. I love that brand. Love that brand. Just lots of very cute animals. This was 14 inches, had the Velcro hands, and it sold for $16.16. Levi's women's jeans, Signature Series. Those are more contemporary. Probably a brand, that series, the Signature ones, I think you can pick them up in Walmart. I'm going to steer clear of, but they had been listed a really long time, and they still sold for $12.01. Now this, This was a pickup from the last Ben's trip. I actually picked up 3 of these hide and eek styrofoam birds. This one was from 2019. When I got it out of the bag, the leg was loose. Because all it is a styrofoam ball. Listed it, sold it immediately, and they didn't pay. And I think I had even sold it on an offer. And waited the 4 days, ended it, closed out the case, relisted, sold immediately for the full asking price. I made sure that I put in there that the leg is loose, and it could have probably sold, I want to say like $25 if it didn't have this issue, but it still stood just fine. It's just that leg was a little bit loose. So definitely keep your eyes out for these hide and eek birds. Spark, Create, Imagine, that's a Walmart brand. There was a time, I say that every once in a while, there was a time that I did really, really well with this series. I think the market is so full now that they just don't move like they were for me this time last year. This one had been listed about 7 months and sold for $11.66. This is from the private pick estate sale that we went to last summer. There was plush everywhere. We had gone to a warehouse where they had tried to bring as much of it over to the warehouse as they could. I bought a ton. And then by the end of my shopping experience there, they were like, would you like to go to the house? And they let Robert and I go over there. There was so much plush, so much. And I want to say I spent $300 to $400 there that day, and I'm still selling it. It sold for this particular one, Dakin Bear Heart Bear from 1980, sold for $26.95. This was, I've got a shelf of games I need to go through. It's on the list. It's just counting the pieces and all of that stuff. I just need to be very selective on the ones that I pick. This was called the Runes Book. Had these little ceramic pieces inside of it. I think it says the boxes had lots of wear, and then the runes in the book had just some light wear. It took about 6 months to sell, $12.10. Teleflora coffee cups. Again, this is one of the things that I have sold quite a bit of now that I have dropped my prices so that my buyers pay my discounted shipping. Just selling lots and lots of mugs. This particular one sold for $8.95. This is a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Sherry. Sherry bought these Play School Disney babies, Mickey Mouse and Goofy plush for $16.95. Thanks again, Sherry. Nanco, not a brand I particularly care for, but they make a lot of character toys, so I tend to pick up some of the vintage stuff. This is Dino from the Flintstones, 1990, and he sold for $12.10. Now these, y'all, every time I find them, they sell almost instantly. These are Fisher-Price fishing pole set fish. This particular one was from the 1995 series, and anytime I find them, they sell almost instantly. Even the pole does. So if you ever find these at a yard sale, however many you can find, I would encourage you to list them separately. This one sold, I want to say, in like a day. I'm trying to see where it says. March 13th. Yeah. It sold in the same day I listed it. I took the best offer of $7. You know, the quick nickel, right? Quick nickel. Funny story, y'all. Robert went to see his parents right after we got back from Peaches to the Beaches. And on the last day, before he was going to be driving home, I got an offer on this wood slab painted picture thingy. So I waited till the next day to accept the offer so that he could ship it when he got home that next day. So yeah, I don't like packing the big stuff or the breakable stuff. So I held on to it. I held on to the offer until I knew he would be available to ship it. It sold for $25. Funko Ronald McDonald plush. I tend to pick up a lot of Ronald McDonald stuff. A lot of it is vintage, but this particular one wasn't. Sold relatively quickly, about 2 months, for $8.06. Baby Chris Mutt, the dog. Dayton Hudson, which a lot of times is also Target, I think. And it sold for $13.45. I pick up a lot of dog plush. These next two are from a single buyer. She bought 2 of my Build-A-Bear bears. This one was a small fries, 8-inch. They're the smaller versions. Sold for $10.49. And then she bought this 7-inch one for $8.06. I tend to stay away from Build-A-Bears now unless I've comped them and, you know, they're going to be worth more than, you know, my typical $8 to $12. They just take up way too much space. This, I picked up a couple of these, I'm guessing at a yard sale or an estate sale, but they were the NBC Peacock coffee cups. Some of them were smaller. I think this was one of the larger cups. And it took a while. It took almost a year to sell, but it sold for $14.41. Fisher-Price Husky Helpers, which is funny. I just listed one, and I tend to always go and look to see if I have any in my inventory before I list something. And somehow I didn't catch that I had a set of 2 before I went and listed a single. And then the 2 sold anyway. These are, I've got a picture. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I have a Husky Helper right here behind me, which I bought that at the kids consignment sale, and it had an extra figure and another piece that I wasn't really wanting to keep. So I went ahead and listed them. That way I can get my money back, and that was free for my wall. But these 2, they're from 1977, and they sold for $9.86. Animal Adventure, again, I love that brand. This is from 2018. Very small 6-inch plush that had like a little jingle bell in it. Sold for $11.66. Bananas in Pajamas. Pretty sure I picked up several of these videos and some other older cartoon VHS at that estate sale where I bought my Snuzzles. I bought all the plush he had that day for $1 each. I think I ended up spending like $165 or something only on $1 plush. And then I got a bunch of this type of stuff. And this VHS sold for $8.96. Now this, again, weird. Sold it almost after I listed it. It is from a Pyrex glass percolator. Sold it. They realized it was the wrong size. Thus, I added to my description when I got it back in a return to please check the measurements before you order it. Relisted it. Sold immediately. Y'all, those glass percolators are gold. This top of the basket sold for $14.95. I paid $10 for the whole pot. I've got 1 piece left, so very quick sell through. Jellycat. Not all Jellycat is gold. There are definitely some to be on the lookout for. They have to be special colors, special sizes. Just always check your comps when you are picking up Jellycat. I mean, this one did okay, but it took like 10 months to sell. It's a white rabbit. Sold for $14.54. Gymboree. I tend to pick up any plush that I see that are Old Navy and Gymboree because, you know, I think, again, they are seasonal. So, you know, this one was released in 2009. And then the next year they probably released another one that was just a little bit different and maybe different colors. So, you know, once somebody loses this or wants to replace it, you know, for a second child or a grandchild, they got to come to eBay and look for it. This was listed in January and it sold for $26.95. I love finding these, but they are just gross. They're just gross. They're called giant microbes, and they're for like science classrooms, or, you know, somebody that's into just germs and diseases and body parts. But this was a dust mite. They're large. It's 5 inches long, and it sold for $8.06. But I love picking them up. Another Care Bears cousin. This is Cozy Heart. Sold in about 2 months, $11.65. Modern Baby Dinosaur Plush sold for $11. Dora the Explorer. Now, I had a small lot of these. I want to say 5 of them that had been listed for a while. When I started going through my bins, I found a few more pieces. I ended that current listing, and then just started piling anything in that tote that was Dora Explorer. Took new pictures, relisted it, and it sold in less than a month for $13.45. Now, these last 3, I consider my good sales for the week. Funny thing with this is, I listed this in February. These are older Sonic the Hedgehog and Amy Rose. They're by Toy Network. They were not good quality. I mean, the condition was fine. It was the quality. Just really not good at all. They're 8-inch, but they sell well. They sell well. And I kept getting a message from this buyer over and over, what's the best you'll take? What's the best you'll take? Usually I respond with, just go ahead and send me a fair offer, and I will consider your offer. But he never would. And so finally he was like, what's the best you can do on this? I said, well, I'd like to get 40 for the 2 of them. And he came back, well, I only want to spend 30. I could have let it go at that and waited. But I said, well, how about we meet in the middle at 35? And he sent me an offer for it, and I accepted. These were from the bins. I might have $2 in them. I doubt it, though. No, actually, I know I don't. So, $1. We'll just go with that, into 35 in less than a month. I wished I could do that all the time. And then this was from my favorite little estate sale company. When I bought all of that Wizard of Oz, I'm almost sold through all of it already. This was a little, it was called The House Began to Pitch from 1995. It had like the glass dome, just all the things that make it so difficult to ship. But it was small. And it sold for $35.95. I probably paid $2 or $3 for it. And then my best sell of the week, or Monday through Thursday, were these. Y'all, I've talked about them. Dinosaur Train. I picked these up at the bins. I had the trains, and then I had the dinosaurs. I decided to keep them separate. I think I've already sold the trains for about $45. They might have been in the previous video. Very quick, less, days to sell. And then I listed these 7 for $60, and they sold for my full asking price of $59.95 for 7 dinosaurs from the Dinosaur Train. All right, y'all. Decent sales. I'm loving it. The more I list, the more I'm selling, I remember, I like to watch Tekken Sports. If those of you who don't know, he's got a Facebook group and stuff, and I like to watch some of his videos. And he talks about, selling Nirvana. I forget the exact words he uses, but, when you list 20 and you're selling 20 a day, you're listing 25 and you're selling 25 a day. It's like the perfect, scenario. And for the most part, I'm getting there. I might be listing a little bit more, but my sales have been right on, and it's been amazing since January, and doing all of this, y'all, basic bread and butter. A lot of bread and butter listings, but a lot of them. And I'm enjoying the sales. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it continues all the way. And then by the time fourth quarter gets here, it's going to be an amazing, amazing ride. Amazing. All right, y'all. Get to work. Bye.